Relations between the Tamil Nadu Raj Bhavan and the government have worsened, with Governor RN Ravi refusing to read out the customary address to the Legislative Assembly. Certain remarks made by Speaker M. Appavu have added fuel to the fire. What is this controversy all about? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar and thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. Let's look at the ongoing friction between the Raj Bhavan and the government against the backdrop of the latest developments in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. On the first day of this year's Legislative Assembly session, the governor refused to read out in full the governor's address that was tabled before the members of the House. The governor had felt that reading them would have amounted to making the governor's address becoming a constitutional travesty. At one point, the governor also walked out of the House. This is the first time that a governor has refused to read out the governor's address in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. In fact, it's worthwhile to recall that last year too, Ravi had stoked a similar controversy when he skipped certain portions of the prepared text and digressed from the content and incorporated his own views in the governor's address. And just like last year, this year also the House adopted a resolution urging the Speaker to take on record only the approved text of the governor's address that was placed before the members of the Assembly and not anything else. Now let's take a look at what exactly is the governor's address. Article 176 of the Constitution mandates that the governor address the members of the House at the beginning of each year's first session of the Assembly or when a new government is elected. PDT Achari, the former Secretary General of the Lok Sabha, says that this address must be read out in full and the governor cannot read a truncated version or garbled version of this. If required, the government can inform the House that his speech can be taken as read. Such an incident had happened in the Tamil Nadu Assembly sometime in June 2011 when the then Governor Sujit Singh Barnala read out only the salient features of the governor's address citing his health. Essentially, the governor's address is prepared by the government. It reflects the government's policies and programs, its achievements and its plans for the future. So the governor technically has no role in the preparation of this text of the governor's address. There is no scope under Article 176 for the governor to incorporate his own personal views in the customary address to the House. Doing so would be a violation of the mandate provided under the Article 176. Therefore, there is no doubt that Governor Ravi has lowered the dignity of the constitutional office that he holds by refusing to read out the governor's address. In fact, if there are any misleading claims or shortcomings in the governor's address, then it is left to the opposition parties to confront the government on them and not for the governor or anyone else. One point that needs to be noted in this controversy is that the Raj Bhavan has not elucidated as to which portion of the governor's address the governor felt contained misleading claims. One can only infer that the governor was uncomfortable reading out certain passages where the government accused the union government of reneging on its promise to contribute 50% of the funds for the phase 2 of the Chennai Metro Rail and the government's proclamation that Tamil Nadu will not implement the Citizenship Amendment Act in the state. As Law Minister Raghupati said, it would have been better if the governor, who disagreed with the contents of the address, had stayed away from the House rather than coming to the Assembly and creating a controversy. Now let's also take a look at the questionable conduct of Speaker Appavu in dealing with this controversy. In the Assembly, the Speaker had gone on to share his own personal views of the governor's conduct. The Raj Bhavan claimed that Speaker Appavu launched a tirade against the governor and also called him a follower of Nathuram Godse. The Raj Bhavan said that by doing so, the Speaker had lowered the dignity of the position that he holds. Quite strangely, at a press conference that was held after the day's session ended, Speaker Appavu said that remarks made by the governor as well as personal remarks made by the Speaker himself should expunge from the records of the House. While it remains debatable if the Speaker could expunge remarks made by the governor, his decision to expunge his own remarks is a very rare occurrence in the Assembly. The bigger point here is that inside the Assembly, the Speaker had not mentioned that these remarks were expunged. In fact, inside the Assembly, what the Speaker had said was that only the prepared text of the governor's address that was tabled before the House would go on record and nothing else. A big question that would beg an answer from the Speaker is, can the Speaker announced outside the house that remarks made inside the house were expunged. What is, however, very clear is that the speaker must have avoided making these unwarranted remarks against the governor. A speaker, like a governor, is expected to behave in a non-partisan manner and not view himself as a member of a ruling party. The Raj Bhavan had also said that the governor had insisted on the national anthem being played before and after his address, but this was ignored by the House. Now, this is an unwarranted controversy because in Tamil Nadu Assembly, the convention has been to play the Tamil invocation song at the beginning of the governor's address and the national anthem at the end of the address. It would be very apt to end this episode by quoting what the Hindu editorial said on this issue. I quote, "The real travesty is not in a formal address containing questionable claims, but in a governor who disagrees profoundly with its policy while remaining in office." On that note, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. I shall meet you in another video. Thank you.